So this month I received 7 dividend payments from some incredible companies like Coca-Cola and Altria Group. And in this video, we're gonna go through each of those payments and total them all up so you can see exactly how much I made this month in October, and also so you can see my total dividend income so far in 2022. But before we get to all of that, in case you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan Williams, and here we strictly talk about dividend stocks and how you can invest in them to create passive income and reach financial freedom. So if that's up your alley, then hit that subscribe button. I'd love to stay in touch as we both continue to grow our portfolios and collect that cash flow. Speaking of which, leave me a comment below and let me know which dividend stocks paid you a dividend this month. I'd be curious to hear if we have any of the same ones. Now moving on and getting into the first payment I received. This one came from Coca-Cola, ticker symbol KO, who paid me a dividend of $10.22 at the beginning of the month. And while many stocks are plummeting in share price for the year, Coca-Cola is actually up. As you guys can see, year to date, they're up a measly 0.5%, which is still beating the rest of the market. And in the last month, they've climbed 2.3%. So they're doing pretty well. Now taking a look at my position real quick, you guys can see I have 23.2 shares of Coca-Cola at an average cost per share of $51.52, which puts me at a total unrealized gain of 15.32%. So I'm really not doing too bad with Coca-Cola right now. Now moving on to the second payment, this one came from JEPI, the JP Morgan Premium Equity Income ETF, who paid me a dividend of $8.21 on October 6th, which brings our total so far for the month to $18.43. Now I currently have just over 17 shares of JEPI, and I'm down about 12.5% with this position right now. However, what I'm missing in share price returns, I'm definitely gaining in dividend income. JEPI is one of my portfolio's highest yielding stocks, and as you can see, their dividend here is in the double digits, currently sitting at 10.78% with a dividend growth history of 1 year. Now moving on to the third payment I received in October, this one came from Altria Group, ticker symbol MO, who paid me a whopping $46.29 on October 11th, which brings our total so far for the month to $64.72. And Altria Group, guys, has just been crushing it in the last month. They are up 9.3% in the last 30 days, which puts them at a total year-to-date loss, still in the red, but not by too much, of 4.13%. And if we pull this up right here, guys, we can see my different tranches for this position. And as you can see on the 5th, just for this month, on the 5th, I picked up just over 1 share of Altria Group, and then I bought a little bit more a week later on the 11th. I bought 0.87, basically 0.9 shares if we're rounding up. So just in the month of October, I've added about 2 more shares to my Altria Group position, and in total, I have just over 51 shares of this stock at an average cost per share of $42.86. And right now, my gain's not looking too bad, up 7.15%. Earlier in the month, I was down in the red. But as you guys saw just a moment ago, Altria Group has just soared this month in October, so I'm back in the green. Now moving on to the fourth payment I received in October, this one came from Kilroy Realty Corporation, ticker symbol KRC, who paid me $6.48 on October 12th, which brings our total for the month so far to $71.20. Now KRC is the most recent addition to my portfolio, and if we pull up all of the tranches and scroll down, you can see I started buying back in the middle of August. I started with 3 shares, 2 shares, 1 share, and I've pretty much been buying at least 1 share every single week since then. And just in the month of October, guys, I've added, 2, 4, 6, 7 shares to this KRC position, which puts me at a total of 19 shares at an average cost per share of $46.51. And you guys can see my position is not doing too hot so far. As soon as I started buying, this stock started plummeting. Now I started buying this stock, guys, somewhere right in here at about $52, $53 per share. And like I said, since then it's done nothing but go down to where it's at now, just under $43 per share. And you know, for the year so far, KRC is down 37.5%. So they've seen quite a big drop so far in 2022. And as the share price continues to come down, I'm just going to keep buying, guys. I mean, as you saw, I've been adding 1 or 2 shares minimum to this position every single week. And I'm going to continue to do so at least for this next month because I'm just not quite done building out this position yet. There's still a little bit more to go. Now moving on to payment number 5, this one was from the monthly dividend income company. This is Realty Income, ticker symbol O, who paid me a dividend of $9.20 on October 14th, which brings our total so far for the month to $80.40. And Realty Income has seen a pretty decent drop this year. You guys can see right here, they peaked back in August, mid-August, about $75 a share. And since then, they've really made their way down in share price to where they were at a low of $55.50. And, you know, now they're kind of starting to rebound back up into the 60s. But year to date, guys, they're still down 13.74%. So that's definitely not nothing. And if we go over to the dividend page right here, up until recently, they were yielding over 5% for the dividend. But as the share price is starting to rebound, that dividend yield is coming back down. It's still sitting pretty high, 4.91%. And they have a really nice dividend growth history of 25 consecutive years. So it's always nice to swoop up those dividend aristocrats. Now, as far as my position goes, I have just over 37 shares of Realty Income at an average cost per share of $56.58. So I'm still up about 8% with this stock, even despite how much it's come down this year, still maintaining some sort of a gain, so I'm happy with that. And since the stock has started to make its way down in share price, I know a lot of you guys out there have been buying, so let me know what your thoughts are on Realty Income. Is now a good time to buy, or is it still looking kind of overvalued? I know that's some concern with investors out there, so let me know your thoughts on Realty Income in the comments. Now moving on to the 6th dividend payment I received in October. This one was from WP Carey, who paid me a dividend of $18.15 on October 14th, which brings our total for the month to just under $100, $98.55. And with this position right now, guys, I have just over 17 shares of WP Carey at an average cost per share of $69.25. So I'm still up about 8% with this position as well. And it's been a really long time since I added this company. I think since my initial tranche when I first started buying. And as you can see, if we go back through the tranches, I started buying into this company back in February of 2021. So almost 2 years ago, guys. And it looks like after I bought it for that month, I was slowly adding to the position, and then everything else since like April 2021. Any sort of additions to this position that were made came from dividends just being reinvested, which I have since turned off, guys. I do not automatically reinvest my dividends. I just capture those dividends and then manually reallocate those funds to other stocks. Now moving on to the 7th and final payment I received in October, guys. This one came from Main Street Capital Corporation, ticker symbol MAIN, of which I have just over 30 shares, and I'm down about 7% with this position, so taking some sort of a loss. But anyway, guys, Main Street Capital Corporation paid me a dividend of $6.66 on October 14th, which brings our total for the month to $105.21. We just barely beat that 3-figure mark. Now, comparing this month's income, guys, to what I made this time last year, in October 2021, I made $74.03, which represents a year-over-year gain in income of 42.11%. And furthermore, this puts us at an annual total so far in 2022 of $1,348.40, which is about $400 higher than what I made in the entirety of 2021. And we still have 2 more months to go, guys, and I can already tell you, November, this next month, is gonna be my highest month of dividend income ever. We're gonna break over $200. And with that, let's actually take a look and see which dividend payments I can expect to receive in the month of November. So going over and taking a look at the dividend log page, which is one of the latest features I added to this new version of the spreadsheet, which, by the way, guys, if you wanna use this spreadsheet, it's totally free. There's a link to grab it in the description of this video. And we're gonna use this page to see which dividend payments I can expect to receive in November. And as you can see, this whole row right here is entirely blank. So we're gonna use all of the dividend payments in August to foreshadow which companies are gonna pay us in November, because pretty much all of them pay on a quarterly basis. So if they paid us in August, they're gonna be paying again in November. And the first company that's gonna be paying me in November is gonna be AbbVie. Looks like we can expect to receive a payment from EPD here, which is gonna be nice. Jeppy obviously is gonna be paying us. They're a monthly payer, so of course. Scrolling over a little bit more, guys, we've got Lowe's right here who's gonna be paying a dividend as well. We've got Main Street Capital Corporation, Realty Income, ORCC, which is gonna be a nice high dividend payment, Procter & Gamble, which I've been adding to religiously, so that'll be a little bit of a higher payment. Starbucks is gonna be getting a nice dividend from those guys. Scrolling over a little bit more, both my communication stocks are gonna be paying, AT&T and Verizon, with last but not least, XYLD paying again in November. So as you guys can see, November is gonna be stacked with dividend payments, so make sure you do not miss next month's income update. And with that, if you're in the market for some cheap dividend stocks, then check out this next video right over here, where I'm telling you about 3 that are ridiculously discounted and look like pretty good buys in the month of November. So click right over here, and I'll see you in the next one.